Hello, guys. Welcome back to Community for All of Us. Tonight, we're going to be going back and looking at our toys from our 80s. And tonight, I have a great time to have a time with my beautiful wife, Nikki, and my good friend, Harold. And we are here tonight to do this live stream talking about a look back on toys from our childhood in the 80s. First of all, how are you doing tonight, Nikki?
I'm doing great.
You got your new microphone, got your new headset. I mean, the whole enchilada. I mean, wow. I think this is going to be a good thing to be able to hear and hear you when you're talking. How are you doing tonight, Harold? Hope you're doing good.
Doing all right, man. Hope you are, man.
We are. It's been a minute. Nikki's mom fell. It's one of the reasons why we haven't been doing a live stream. She fell. She's still in the hospital. Having to
No,
do
she's in
rehab.
rehab.
Rehab, yeah. So, but yeah, we that's been taking a lot. Then we had a huge snow.
Mhm.
I finally got the car unstuck today, so I'm pretty happy about that. Having to wear when I get up and move around, I now have this fancy dancy medically molded detailed knee brace for my leg because I have really messed it up. And the sad thing is I messed it up while sitting on my butt. That was the craziest thing. I got this horrible cramp leg. We heard my knee pop, and then I couldn't put weight on it. So, but other than that, how is everybody doing? Does anybody have any show and tell to show before we get started?
Well, oops. Oh no. I'm
You're
falling.
Oh
He
no!
can't get up. He can't get up.
I don't think.
Let me turn my
Oh,
light
I
on
did
right
get
quick.
something new.
All right.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Do you know where my wrestling
Oh,
figure is,
I don't know
Gary?
if they can see it. Here you.
I see my
I,
hand.
Oh,
hey,
they say hey.
I do. Harold, before you show it, give me 1 second. I gotta grab something for Nikki. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
But y'all keep the show going. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah, I don't know where we put it. We bought some the other day. I think it was before the first snow.
Mm-hmm.
The first snow that was mostly ice. We actually got out. We haven't been out since it. We got like 8 inches here. 10 inches, yeah. Because we went out during the middle of the day and then it snowed 8 more hours after that. We hadn't seen a snow like this in forever. And I thought it had been 20, 25 years since we had a snow like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking through pictures of our neighbor and they had pictures of a really big snow in 2018, which I completely didn't remember whatsoever. So we've had a big snow since then. But I completely forgot about it. But this one was huge.
Yes, ma'am. It was that way here. I don't know if y'all seen the shorts or TikTok reels, whatever you want to call them, that I posted. But snow was like coming up our door.
Yeah, it
Same
was
here.
ours too. Mm-hmm.
We got so much snow, it's as big as my ego. I tell you, I was so happy to see it. So yeah, so you had a lot to get up to your door. How many inches did y'all get?
I think Alexa was saying we were, or no, it was I forgot who said it was like supposed to be 7 or 8 inches or something.
Oh wow. Um, Now in the trails areas, the snow was a lot thicker, but I only counted what was on the back of the porch and on the yard. I even cleared off a spot, and we ended up getting that spot got filled back up like I'd never been there. It was crazy. We went out in the snow for a little bit. I got snow all over me. I fell. I did. I fell. I busted my butt. Instead of getting help, what did I get? I
Laughter.
got a good job.
Because that was after the ice we had, and we still have our hill always will keep snow for
Yes.
eons. Because like you look down our hill, it looks like it's mostly gone. You look up our hill, it looks like it's still snowed, like completely covered. And so he decided that I went over and I was testing the ice we had in between. And I was like, oh, this is pretty slick. And he decides he's going to come over, and he does not have the best balance. He's never, ever had the best balance. And not 2 seconds after he goes and pats his little foot on that, does he get off balance and do the whole whoopie, 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 whack. And actually, he landed forward, which I guess is better than backwards.
That's when I regret that I lost weight, because I didn't have a belly to cushion that fall. So, yeah, I have actually lost about 15 pounds. So, I'm actually wearing a shirt that used to be tight on me. Now it looks like it's sucking me dry. So,
that's because Derek finally listened to me.
I did finally listen to Nikki.
I told him all we had to do was take out meat from some of our meals, because I was vegetarian, vegan for a long time, so I know how to make them tasty. And we did that. We had meat for one meal, and then we were vegetarian for like 3 or 4 of them, and it just went off of him very quickly.
Very quickly. And I took out soft drinks, except for occasionally I would get one soft drink and have it. But Harold, what did you get before I went away and had to grab what Nikki got? What did you get? Because I got a crap load. I can't show you all of them, but I got.
Let me unplug this part right here. I had my little part that controls the lights on my headset plugged into the mini PC that I got.
Nice.
This thing's about as big as your hand. But look at this. You get Steam and all that on here.
Oh, where did you get that from?
This is off Amazon. The monitor is actually just my Roku TV. Oh, sorry, my Roku TV, and got this keyboard and mouse here.
Wow, look at you! Look at you!
Look a little more professional now, but now I need a webcam for it, so I can do
Very
a little
nice.
more.
I got a webcam if I can find it, instead of using one from this computer, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I got one because we buy a whole series of them, and I use webcams even when I was teaching, and so I bought a newer version of it, but it's plug and play, and for some reason it wouldn't work with the StreamYard that we use. It would glitch and not work the way it was supposed to. They did just recently get bought up by a bigger company. I don't know if it's the same and they just make bigger, or they got bought out, but I know that all their stuff changed over in January. So the software may be different. We may be able to plug it in and it works. We'll just have to do a test run with it.
One thing I got that I can't show is that Nikki surprised me, and we already have done. Just to tell you how much I am being dedicated this year to making videos for my YouTube channel. I already have 32 videos uploaded to come out once a week, every Monday at 11:45, every Monday from here till 32 weeks from now. And then Nikki ordered 3 more boxes of Blokey. So I'm doing a Blokey a week review where I put it together, talk about it, and I tell you a little bit about me. I kind of go in a little bit of story of where I came from, how I got here, all that enchilada. But that is a cool setup that you got now, Harold. Now, my beautiful wife, Nikki, show us what you got. And she wasn't going to get this, by the way, but I was like,
I really wasn't. Because we went and bought some clothes for my mom. She didn't have exactly what she needed. And so we went by there, and I was like trying to guess how much money we had in the account so I could still like get the stuff we needed. And I wasn't going to get her. She's one of my favorite wrestlers. It is a wrestling figure because I like wrestling figures.
Oh, yes.
And I debated about it because it was the nicer ones. It was a little bit more pricey than I usually would have paid for. But I got Tiffany.
Yes. Oh, let me make your screen big. I meant to make Harold's screen big. I forgot to do that.
And I watched your first one, NXT, and I was like, break out, dynamic new star. And I was like, Derek, she's going places. She's already got her character worked out and stuff. And she's a fantastic wrestler. She's actually an Olympian, kind of like Kurt Angle was. I don't remember what if she had gold or not, but she definitely won medals. And she brought it into the ring, and she's doing a fabulous job. She's already got Money in the Bank. This is her Money in the Bank one, yeah. And she's got several other belts in her event. And this was a really pretty one. I really liked how it turned out. I don't quite think that her face looks as good as some of the other ones resembled the real life people, but this was not bad. That's not bad. And so that's the front. I'm trying to get the glare off. And then
And
the
just
back
let you,
has-
Nikki does not open hers. I love
no,
it.
I don't
I
open
think
my
it's
wrestling figures.
That's beautiful. I was like,
I love
we're
it.
not leaving here. I was actually going to pick up some things and I actually put them all down. So I was like, no, we're getting your mom's clothes and we're going to get you that figure in the story because it looks so good. So what does Nikki do? Nikki surprises me, not with one, not with two, but three. First one up, I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to open up. Let's see, I got to remember how to make my screen bigger. There we go. It's funny when you don't do this, how you get out of practice and you forget where things are. So this is Law and Order from G.I. Joe, which we're going to be talking about our 80s childhood stuff in just a second. Nice little artwork and stuff on the back. I had this guy when I was a kid. Matter of fact, my mom actually had boxes of toys, and I have G.I. Joes in my box of toys that I'm actually fixing. I got the O-rings in, and I got new screws to change out. And then Nikki got this. She saw it was Spider-Man, and I don't have this Spider-Man, and I did open it, so I don't mind.
Is that the
pulling
Game
that out of the
Reverse?
box. Yeah, the Game Reverse Spider-Man.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so Nikki got me this guy. He is absolutely fun. I haven't stopped playing with him at all. I even was taking him out to go to do the snow and want to do some pictures with him out in the snow. I don't know if you've seen, but I am also doing stock motion photography, and then I'm putting it into an AI program, and it's helping me get a background and put my figures into a battle scene. Now today, Nikki surprised me with one of my favorite G.I. Joes from the movie was Tunnel Rat.
Oh,
And
man.
this guy was on Amazon for $10. $10. Nikki went ahead and snatched him up. I opened him up. I have to. That's what I do with my G.I. Joes. I had to open him up. Welcome, Laura, Star Screen. Hope you're doing good. So I got this guy. He is absolutely awesome all the way around. All his gimmicks, his pouches, the whole thing works. He is just a fun figure. I've been playing with him for the past hour because we just got him in an hour ago. I even did a short review for on the shorts to show him all coming out of the box. Awesome figure. Absolutely love it. So that is our show and tell. Tonight we're going to talk about the 80s. What was the toy that you had to have, always wanted, whether you got it or not? We're going to start with the stuff like that. And then I want you to share your stories. And then I'm going to pull up some pictures of the figures. But before we do that, I think the one thing we need to do right now is we need to do a review. I want us to take a look at a trailer that dropped that made my mouth drop. I was absolutely, positively shocked by it. Trying to do my best to get in the contact so I can be a part of. Okay. All right. The best way is through email, which is autocratprimer@gmail.com. So I am going to pull this screen up and we're going to watch this and take a reaction. Is everybody ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. So let me make this thing bigger. Let's get it big in here. So we got that. Let's pull this
Get it
up.
started.
Yeah, here we go. I was so surprised. Let's let it roll. Oh, and here we go. Turn the volume up.
That stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real. Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's...
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry, the sword's mine.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
What am I supposed to do? Take the sword. You protect them. I have the power!
Yes.
Around our anniversary.
I think it looks great.
Me too. I mean, and I was wondering if that was even a real trailer at first, because you see so many fan-made trailers, but then you look at something like this, it's like, yes, please let this be really happening.
I felt
I
the same
know.
way about the Superman trailer. Like when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, please don't let this be a fan-made one or an AI one." But look at this guy right here. Derek paused it here on purpose because you will never
Skeletor.
guess who Skeletor is. Do you know who it is?
I think I heard, but I forgot already.
Well, he was in Derek.
Jared Leto, wasn't it?
Yes, that
Oh,
is.
yes.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it does not look like him." But
That'll
had-
be interesting to see how well he plays the character. I know a lot of people. There was people that was okay with him as a Joker, and then there was people that absolutely freaking hated him as the Joker.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how his portrayal of Skeletor comes out.
And see, the interesting thing is that when actors portray it a certain way, like it's really not them that get to decide what they look like. So he didn't
Right.
get to choose that really very gangster list. That was like the director that chose that look for him.
Exactly.
He's
like-
only in charge of getting his body ready for whatever role he's going to do.
That's like, Ben Affleck. He was great in Daredevil. The way they portrayed Daredevil, he did great, but his portrayal of Batman, got a lot of hate.
Now,
Yeah.
portrayal is different. Like the acting quality it's them, but it's also the director, It's not
Exactly.
just one person. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say what I've seen, being a huge He-Man fan. I don't do a lot of He-Man reviews and stuff like that because I can't get everything. But I did tell Nikki that I was going to drop, probably buying. I'll probably finish getting combiners for Transformers and do that with Hasbro and Blokies. But when it comes to Transformers, I'll probably be focusing more on Blokies. But I told Nikki they're coming out with a new He-Man toy line, which would be called Masters of the Universe Chronicles. And
cool.
yeah, and it's going to start off with these movie figures, and then the line's going to go from there. And I already told Nikki look, my mom just gave me my Snake Mountain, and she just gave me my Castle Grayskull. I'm setting those up in our studio right now because I'm able to start moving around and move things. Uh, I'm down. I'm gonna get every one of the He-Man figures that comes out. I'm very, very stoked about it. Um, I saw this trailer going, please don't let this be a AI rendering. Please don't let this
Yeah.
be fake.
Same here.
And I gotta tell you, now, what people have not recognized or said or anyone, and I'm surprised that no one's pointed this out yet, or if they have, I haven't seen it. But I'm also Paul Skeletor because if you look at Skeletor, he's not wearing exactly the outfit that you saw in the cartoon. But yet He-Man is wearing the outfit that he wore in the cartoon. Man of Arms, Beastman, all of them are.
Mhm.
Skeletor here is not. This suit that he's wearing is the suit he wore when he was under Hordak.
Mhm.
So I'm curious if we're going to see that he's still a part of the Hordak line, and maybe we'll get later down the road She-Ra introduced. But I was very surprised to see they went with this, and I love it. It looks great.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know that Havoc staff that is in the story of He-Man. That Havoc staff that he has is actually Skeletor's head in the future when Hordak decapitates him and gives him the Havoc staff. He makes the Havoc staff out of Skeletor's future body, and apparently Hordak can go through time. So, but what Skeletor did was broke away from that and deviated from it and became his own person and overpowered Hordak with the Habit Staff, which a lot of people don't realize that's actually a part of the Master of the Universe lore. So,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
like, looks beautiful. I'm very excited. And that's really what made tonight where I wanted to talk about our as a childhood. What was the toys that you wanted? So now that we had that, I want to go ahead and close that out, bring us all together. Um, I am curious to start off with, what was the first toy in the 80's from cartoons, and we'll use cartoons that you had to have or you wanted? Whether you got it or not, what was the one? We'll start there and then we'll show off some because Will kind of gave me this idea. I was hoping Will would be able to join us tonight. His grandfather has been under the weather, so keep his family and them in prayer. Also, and Nikki's mom, if you will. Um, I my health. We all know where I stand, so I accept all prayers that are given. So, but with that, I wanted us to talk about our childhood because there's toys, there's cartoons, there's things that you saw as a kid that you're like, I gotta have. And I'm gonna let y'all two decide on will Nikki go first or will Harold go first to say it because I'll come in next. Hey Leo, how you doing, buddy? Who wants to go first?
I'll let
You want
Harold.
you let me? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'd have to say the first one that I can remember was the He-Man Power Sword, and
Okay.
which I did get from as a Santa Claus gift.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it was like they hyped it up so much on TV, and it's like I had to have his man, and I used to just probably drive my parents crazy pushing the buttons, making the
Making it talk
noises. Yeah.
that yeah. Let's see here. So is this the one I'm gonna pull it up? Is this the He-Man sword that you were talking about from your childhood? Let me pull up. There it is. Share and do this and do that.
Oh
Is
my
that the
God!
one?
Yes, that is the one. That is the one. Oh my God!
So that's the way that you're like, I have to have this thing and all the noise racket that came with it.
Yes.
That's funny.
Would that be in the 90s?
No, that's still the 80s. That's
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 what it is.
that's the late yeah, that's the late 80s. That was 80s, early 90s, right around there for that sword. Yeah. So, and that was from the Adventures of He-Man.
mm-hmm.
So very, very cool. So that right there. Well, what memory do you have when you had this figure? What's the one memory that stands out to you that you're like,
When I had the He-Man power sword,
yes,
standing
yes.
on the back porch, swinging that sword around like like a crazy person, making the noises, going, "I have the power."
That's awesome. That's so cool. That is so cool. So we start with that. So what about you now, Nikki? What was the one thing that stood out to you that you were like,
I wanted Care Bears. I like the Care Bears. I thought they were the cutest things ever. I
so the
got some
Care
mini
Bear?
ones. I got the grandma bear and little baby bears. But I didn't get like the fluffy ones. We were broke. We were
Yeah.
one family income, and dad worked in Charlotte. But I mean,
Yep.
even and we supplemented a lot from hunt. My grandpa hunted, so we almost all of our meat came from hunting. Deer meat is what we ate mostly. And
man.
so we had some Hot Wheels. My brothers did. I don't think we had action figures. I don't think we had GI Joes or He-Mans or anything like that. But I wanted, the little hard ones, like that in the middle. One more over the pile of them. No, I
All
didn't get
right.
any
Let
of
me
those.
see. So you're talking
But yeah, the
about, let
little
me make
hard
sure.
ones.
All right, let me do
I did
this.
have the one with the little shamrock on his chest.
You still got that one.
Oh no, a little baby one.
The little tiny ones.
I do have that somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. There's a
I
grandma
found it
bear.
whenever I was. Yep. I found it whenever
That
I
was
was
it.
running.
That's all I had. I just had those. And I wanted a Cabbage Patch Kid, but they were very expensive. So my grandmother made me one. And it didn't look quite like a Cabbage Patch Kid,
Oh,
but
but
I
it's
loved it
beautiful, and she
because
still
my
has it.
grandma made it. And my aunt painted on the eyes and the nose and the mouth, and then the hair was kind of weird. So I had cancer when I was young, and somebody bought me a wig. So I shoved my wig on top of it, and it looked pretty. It was fun. And I used to dress it up. You can put baby doll clothes on it. It was the perfect size. I could just buy newborn clothes, but I only had 2 different outfits. That was it. Oh, I did have some strawberry shortcake curtains. That's an interesting story. Let me tell you how I got those. My Aunt Vina,
Yeah.
she was partially homeless, and she was a transient, and she used to dumpster dive, and that's before it was cool.
Yes,
And
she did.
she found the strawberry shortcake fabric, and she thought of me. Perfectly good fabric. She had washed it, all that, and brought it to grandma, and grandma sewed them, and it was up in my room from the time I was like 9 to the time I was like 18, because I loved them that much.
They were there whenever you and I got dated.
Yes, they were. Yes.
Yeah,
They were.
that's good. And they still look good. I bet you they're
They
probably still up there.
no,
No, they're not.
no,
When your mom
because my
gives that
mama
to us.
converted her to her little office. So,
That's right. That's
but
right.
they once they came down, they were done, done.
That's funny. Now, for me, my childhood's a little bit different. Um, some of my childhood I can't I won't share outright, but the one
Right.
thing that I can say is that to make my mom mad, my my aunt would be my aunt, and God rest her soul, Eva. She owned her own trucking company, and she had, they did a lot of construction and stuff like that. So they had money, and so if something happened to me, that's one thing I could say that my aunt did, is that she did look out for me as a child. And so I would be surprised. I used to have to share my birthday. I won't get into that whole story, but my birthday's coming up on the 18th of this year, and Nikki has made every effort every year to make that day special to me because it wasn't ever treated special when I was a kid. So, but the one thing I can say that my aunt did is, and my stepdad did, is competed on gifts. They really did. My stepdad was big into GI Joe. He had his own son, which was my older brother Billy, and Star Wars and Godzilla and GI Joe. That came when Billy came. Billy came with a crap load of toys. I'd never seen before in my life. I mean, it was like, I'm gonna share this picture real quick because this is something I just found while we were talking. But it's kind of like seeing this picture right here and pull it up. Close it out. Give me a second. I had the wrong button. So it's like this image right here. Let's see if I can do it right this time, guys. This This was what they would do, man. They would compete, and then my grandfather got into it because my grandfather it was when my slogan at the end of my reviews has always been hold on to something from your youth, you'll never grow old. That's actually what my grandfather had. My grandfather actually had a toy from his childhood that he had kept with him all his life. I really wanted to get the toy when he passed. My grandmother wanted to hold on to it. So, um, but yeah, that was something that he did. So as you're seeing all these toys, and I had my own biological brother, Joseph, and then I had my cousin Robbie. We were all boys. So Robbie got, he was the only child, so he got everything. And so what toys he didn't want anymore, Joseph and I would get. So we got these 1980s um, robots that look like this.
Oh, is that
We
the Robo
got
Force?
what now?
Is that the Robo Force?
Yeah, we had the Robo
Oh
Force
man.
because he didn't want them anymore. My stepdad was the one that got us all He-Man things and GI Joe. I was the only one that was like a Transformer fan. So uh,
We had
if
Legos.
we what now?
We had Legos, but it was the
Yeah,
big bucket that you build yourself.
we were not allowed to have Legos. My mom hated Legos, so we were not allowed to
Oh,
have Legos.
we had a
But
couple.
a couple. But if you
A
see the
couple.
He-Man figures here, we had every single one of these guys. Because my two brothers and my cousin loved He-Man. And so I liked He-Man too. So anything that was He-Man, we got. The Silverhawks, and the Ninja Turtles. Trying to see what else is in this pile. But G.I. Joe, I'm surprised they don't have a lot of pictures of G.I. Joe. Let's see. So there's
We had a
Legos.
Rubik's Cube.
Did you? I bought one
We
and
had
still
those.
can't do it.
We had those tiny little Smurf figurines, like two or three
Oh,
of them.
that's cool. I always wanted them and never got those. But when
We
it came
had.
to Transformers, what now?
I was going to say we had the little raisins that heard it through the grapevine. If it was a McDonald's toy, there was more of a chance we
Yeah.
had it
Same,
Heard it
same.
through the
because
grapevine.
they came with it. So we would go, and that was us out to eat. Was going to McDonald's. It was expensive for us, so that was a treat. And so the fact that it came with toys, Dad used to try to get us to go whenever they had toys we really wanted because it was like you get to eat and you get a toy.
Yeah, we were the same way. Um, I was the only Transformer fan in my family. I tried to get my younger brother, my older brother, my cousin in the Transformers, and my cousin loved Hot Wheels, so he had a crap load of Hot Wheels. So I was thinking, let me try and get him into Transformers because hey, they're cars, and I got somebody to play with.
Yeah, and there's more of a chance you'll get more Transformers in the house if
Yes. But the answer was always no, no, no. And if I ever, when it came, and I would tell Santa Claus, "Hey, I want to have Optimus Prime, or I wanted Thundercracker, or I wanted Soundwave," that's what I would ask for. And I wouldn't get it. I would get a GI Joe, He Man, Ghostbusters. Now, my brothers and I did love Ghostbusters, and I did end up getting a lot of Ghostbusters. But Transformers was something that I actually worked for as a child. I would work for my grandfather, and I would get paid, and that was my way of getting Transformers. Now, I did not have any of the big Transformers that you see here. I didn't get Optimus Prime until I realized that I had a guy that was on my school bus that his parents got him Transformers, but he wanted GI Joe, and his parents were against, for some reason, against the whole uh, army military type cartoons. So on the bus, I would be doing some willing and dealing with GI Joes. Any GI Joes that my brothers and I had that had were doubles, that's the ones that I knew I could take because they were technically mine if they were doubles. And I would take them and be like, "Hey, for the Optimus Prime, I'll give you these two GI Joes." Oh,
Early days
yeah,
of toy sales right there, Derek.
I'm telling you, man, I wheeled and dealed, and that is how I got my Transformers as a kid. My favorite Transformer of all, even though I got sideswiped, that was the one figure I did get that I didn't, have to do any will or deal. But the one figure I always wanted because I loved him was, who is it, Nikki? Who's one of my favorites?
G.I. Joe's.
No, Transformers, because you got it from what's his name at Sean and Charlotte's show. And he's on the screen. I wonder if she.
Oh, I would say Perceptor.
There you go. So
I mean, we kind of like all of them. There's
I
a
do.
lot of favorites. I mean, Grimlock. I like Hot Rod, Bumblebee.
But
So
it wasn't till I was 40 years old that I finally had Perceptor. Nikki bought Perceptor. That's this guy right here. Got him. So I'm going to do a full image. There we go. I'm going to do a full image of him. This was the guy I always wanted. It wasn't till I was in my 40s that I finally got this one Transformer that I always wanted, was Perceptor. And Nikki got him, and my Perceptor looks just like this one here. He is in a storage cabinet in my studio that we're going to eventually change out and have a glass display there so I can display all the G1 figures in one spot. But this guy right here was the figure I always wanted as a kid. And the reason why is he turned into a microscope. And the microscope does work. It's not the greatest. It has like a little bit of a magnifying in it, but it does technically work. But GI Joes are the things that was prevalent in my house. What was the toy figure that you finally got as an adult that you always wanted? Is there a toy that you've always wanted that you're like, I have to have? And I want to answer Will's question if he's watching the video. He asked me a question. I'm going to have Nikki still text it to him. But the answer is, what was shelf warming of Transformers when I was a kid were all of the bigger figures. The small figures, like that's what I got, was the mini bots. all mini bots always were gone just like that because they were so inexpensive to get. But when you got to figures like Predaking, um, things with any of the big combiner pieces, they typically were shelf warming, and any of the big figures were shelf warm. But mini bots and everything would go quickly, very quickly. So I want to make sure I answer that one question. Um, what's a figure that you always wanted that you finally got, or you're still wanting to get that you as an adult that you always wanted as a kid?
Mm,
Okay, Harold, I'll start with you first.
Well, I'd have to say one of the things that I finally got as an adult was well, I always wanted a Jason action figure as a kid.
Okay.
But yeah, of course you didn't have stuff like that growing up because nobody made stuff like that.
No, they
But
didn't.
but now with thanks to McFarlane Toys and NECA and all those companies, all those that used to want a Jason figure or a Freddy Krueger action figure can have that now.
That's cool.
And
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, I did think about that. I'm glad you pointed that out. Saying, yeah, I forgot to even mention toys that had never been made that you always wanted. So Jason Voorhees, I can
mhm.
see that. That is a cool figure. I don't have a Jason in my collection, but yeah, that's a good one. That as a kid seeing Friday the 13th and being like, oh dude, Freddy Krueger and Jason and Michael Myers.
Mhm.
Yeah, now they did make alien toys later on. You
Oh
did get
yeah,
the alien toys
aliens and predators and all
and
that.
Predator. Yeah. Yeah. Billy from the Forge and Billy the Kid kids reviews. That's one of the figures that he always wanted to have and get, and that's what he has been doing some reviews on. Nikki, what is a toy that you always wanted that you never got, and trust me, you probably have it here in the house now.
I wanted a Barbie.
You got a
I had
Barbie.
one Barbie and I cut her hair off because I thought it would grow back.
Uh,
And it didn't. And I didn't get a new one.
oh, well,
I
I
got one
got
here
you.
now. They're not. I wanted to like make outfits for them. So I wanted the Barbie so I can like sew them little outfits.
That's cool. That's cool.
And I
I never
liked
thought that.
sewing. I took a sewing class when I did 4-H long time ago.
Long
And
time ago.
so things that I liked were not necessarily just toy. Like I had toys, but I liked doing things that were functional. Like I like cooking and I like sewing, and I wanted to get into woodworking, and I tried to put a table together and it flopped, and I couldn't get anybody to help me to make one. But
You
those
made a
are the things,
squirrel.
huh?
You made
Oh,
a
I did that
squirrel.
in college though.
I love that squirrel. That's my squirrel. And,
I
and
whittled a squirrel in college.
that's
We had
mine. I
it
love
was
it.
part of my crafts class. I
I
had
got
fun classes in college.
that's
I did metal sculpture too, but I mean, it just kind of, it's funny the things that I liked growing up became, luckily the things that I did for school. And I mean, all this, even the animation and like the Photoshop work that I do and the toys and the comics, they all kind of just like evolved in the things I liked and wanted to do without knowing that I liked them, like the comic thing. I didn't know there was comic book stores until I met Derek, and I was like, what are you doing Saturday? He was like, nothing. I was like, well, let's
nothing.
go. Well, I kind of got something to do. And I was like, well, I can go with you. He's like, no, you probably won't want to go. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, I'm going to the comic store. I was like, that's a thing? There are places that sell comics, just comics. He was like, yeah. I was like, I want to go. He was like, really? I was like, yes.
And I told her to
So
pick out a
then,
comic book. And then I thought it was going to be a dud, and it became one of the most expensive comic books. What was that comic book?
It was called. It was by Frank Cho. I can't remember the name. Liberty
Liberty
Meadows.
Meadows.
That's what it is.
Yep.
It's like it's kind of expensive now, but
I was
back
so
in the day,
surprised.
it was.
And she got a letter in one of the comic books when she wrote to him.
That's things we
So
used to do.
I know.
Hmm.
Um, I guess for me, when I look at our toy collection, trust me, it's huge. I mean, huge. We're working on storage now for some of the figures, and some of the figures I've got together that I've already sent Harold figures, and I want to now going to send Will figures. Um, that I look at now and I go as an adult, the one thing out of the 80's that I can say is that every cartoon was advertisement for a new toy. And every cartoon was to catch your eye as a kid to be like, I have to have that toy. I got to have that action figure. And with that has calls where toys are now not only for kids, but for adult collectors. If you told me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I kicked my butt every day that I did not get into the 6-inch figure GI Joes when it first started, because in my mindset, GI Joes should be 3 3/4. Now, if you take a look at my wall in my house, you'll see that it's covered with Super 7 wave 1 through 6. Now I think it is. They're on wave 6, and it's all 3 3/4 GI Joe O rings. But I have a ton of Transformer figures. I got more Optimus Primes I can do with. And I kind of kick myself because I wish I had done GI Joe. I love Transformers, and I'm glad that I have Transformers. But I do wish that I had also done Transformers and GI Joe, because as a child, I couldn't get Transformers. So as an adult, I went hog wild crazy on Transformers. Um, But there was something that whenever Nikki started getting some GI Joes, and actually when Nikki got from Valorverse Action Force, those figures are magnificent. I love Action Force. I love Valorverse, but it made me sit there and made me go and start remembering my childhood, the good parts of my childhood, the parts where my stepdad would take time and sit down with the boys. And if we had the GI Joes out, he always would come around and be like, "Okay, I'm going to be gung ho," because I was the Marine. My dad
Hmm.
was a Marine, and he was like, I'm gung ho." Or if Leatherneck is a figure I want to get right now because that really looked like my dad, Leatherneck, and he's a Marine, and that was the ones he would play with us. He even whenever the toy came out with Gung Ho was in his military blues. My dad bought that. I think my brother ended up getting it after my dad passed.
The
But
Hall of
that
Fame
was
figure, right?
what now?
The Hall of Fame figure, right?
Yeah. So yeah, and so he that was something they would do, and I sit there and I think about it now as an adult, and I go, toys will always have a soft spot in my heart, because one is that if it was like if toys were around and they could be seen, the adults acted like children, like good kids. The toys weren't around, it wasn't such a good time. So I look at toys and say, we're the generation that made it possible for you to have anime contests where you can now go out and cosplay. We're the generation that made it where toys are cool. We're the ones that made comic books awesome. And we're
Mm.
the ones that made these movies you get to see, because it's us. Like we saw the He Man trailer. It's our generation, Generation X, that made it possible for the other generations, because none of the generations before us ever kept their toys. Toys were for kids. and toys when you became an adult, you were to put away. And for some reason, us as kids coming into adults was like, no, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to get rid of it because that toy means something to me. It is a special memory.
Exactly. For some of us, that's like one of the few good memories, one of the few happy memories we have.
hmm And so, looking back on the 80s and the toys and looking how it came, I got to say, it's not half bad. You know, a lot of times people go, you're an adult. Why do you play with toys? Because I'm making memories. And those memories are good. And those memories are why I do the channel and I put myself out there. My health is not good, but every day God gives me, I want to put out there that I want you to experience the joy that when I do his review, you're going to hear the joy and me talking about the movie and being the one movie I went to and I didn't cry after seeing Optimus Prime get killed. At least Duke woke up at the end from his coma.
Mhm.
So that there to me is why, as a child, it's good memories. And I think that's going to be like that's the golden years. Now, anime is
Mhm.
huge, huge. And I see more toys coming out for anime. And I'm like, awesome. Because the one thing that you want to do is you want to get kids into toys and playing with toys. And here's the reason why. When you do that, you do like what my wife was saying. It sparked that interest in wanting to create clothing. You want to sit there and build things and create this whole world. In your mind, was there anything that you ever had as a figure that you created your own unique story with? As we're coming to the end of the show.
Does having Mario fight Batman count?
Yes. Yes. Share. I want to hear this. That sounds
but
cool.
but yeah, when it's like sometimes when a lot of the stuff we got as when I was a kid was mostly yard sale stuff. If
Okay.
if you got anything that was like the expensive stuff, you either got it for Christmas or you had to find it at a yard sale way later on. And of course, some action figures they didn't have back then. So if you got a Mario figure, but you don't have any Mario villains except maybe the Cooper Paratrooper. So
Right.
why not make it? And back then we had to use our imagination a little bit too. So
Oh
why not
yeah,
Mario versus Batman?
That's
that
pretty
sounds
cool.
perfectly cool.
Yeah.
I like
Who
that.
was the bad guy in that situation? Were they a team up?
I don't even know.
That's pretty funny. I like that. I like that. Do you have any stories like that, Nikki?
I didn't do stories. I wanted to create environments. I liked, making things. So like if I saw I I guess I didn't have I didn't do as many toys per se. Like if I saw somebody do a weaving on TV, I made my own weaving. If
Okay.
I saw somebody make, I used to take my grandma's scrap materials and make outfits for myself just by tying them and pinning them on to make elaborate creation.
Okay.
Look at then I would put any little piece of paper I found that was shiny. Even
Right.
envelopes, like inside some Christmas cards, they have shiny things. I put it in the box. If I found leftover yarn, I put it in the box. And that way, when I, found something I wanted to make, I'd go digging through my box and make things. I didn't do
Okay.
paintings back then. I did some drawings though. I did drawings and more craft type things. I don't remember. I remember the weaving I made. I made it out of cardboard, the loom, and then I
Yeah.
warped it. I know those words now, but and then I made a little weaving, and I even was able to cut it off and tie it off so it wouldn't unravel.
That's cool. For me, I'll share what we used to do. We would come up with combat scenes and battles. With Ghostbusters, it was always busting ghosts. We did sometimes do a crossover, but the one thing that we would do with G.I. Joe is we would create a battle scene outside. We would get firecrackers and gasoline, and we would make a real life action explosion, body parts flying, G.I. Joes. It's one of the reasons why I don't have rock and roll in my collection. I wish I still do. As an adult, I would love to have my 3 3/4 inch rock and roll, but he sacrificed himself for his fellow man and was blown to smithereens by a firecracker with gasoline. We we got in so much trouble because we had a big yard because it was next to a farm, and so we would take and we're kids. We don't know you're not supposed to put explosions next to your well. You have a well and it has rocks and it has this whole terrain. So we would set up the whole battle scene and use gasoline to mole out where we were going to light it and watch the gasoline go in there and burn and then hit the firecracker and explode. Got in trouble for that. So, but that was one of the battle scenes. We wanted to reenact one of the scenes we saw where Cobra and G.I. Joe and the vehicles and everyone was coming. And then for some reason, we were using TIE fighters and X-Wings that Billy had for Star Wars, and they were coming in and shooting. They have all the explosion. But we had a blast doing stuff like that as a kid. I don't recommend it to kids at all. I don't recommend that at all. Don't go and do that. Because as an adult, you learn, holy mackerel, I'm lucky to still be alive. I'm lucky I still have a body part. I'm lucky I still have fingers. I'm lucky I still have a hand. I'm lucky that my butt hasn't been completely beat off myself because I did stupid stuff like that. But it was things that we would do. Um, my little brother though was the manipulator, and he always was the instigator, and he knew
Still
that we were not
is.
allowed. Why now? Oh, yeah.
Still is.
So, um, he got upset with me and my older brother. So he took all the GI Joes and took them to mom and dad's room. We were not allowed to go into mom and dad's room, and he put them all under her. Mom had this big dresser, and it had these big mirrors all the way around it in this dresser. He stuffed them up underneath my mom's dresser, so you could not touch because I had mom's makeup and stuff on it too. So he stuffed it up underneath there for months. I'm telling you, months. We had nothing, no GI Joes to play with because Joseph forgot one thing. He wasn't allowed to go in there, so he couldn't go in there and play with the GI Joes. So he had thought, I'll hide them in there. I go in there and play with them with mom and dad, and I'll play with them. But what Bill and my stepdad Bill did, he's like, he was a Marine. He's like, oh, no, these are confiscated. You took them into an unauthorized area, and he kicked out Joseph. And for months, we did not have any GI Joes to play with because Joseph thought, I'm going to get back. I'm going to take all the GI Joes, put them up underneath there, and I'm going to hide them. I'll go in there and play whenever I want to. And Bill was like, nope, they're being confiscated. You went to an unauthorized area.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. You don't have them anymore either. And he had to suffer with us for not having GI Joes. I'll tell you one thing, Joseph never did that again. When we did finally get them back, you know, talk about they were like, we didn't blow them up anymore. I'll tell you that. After we got them back, they were like gold. They were the most prized possessions in the house. But I never had to worry about anybody taking my Transformers though. Nobody ever. I had my own Transformers, and it was my thing because I love robots. But yeah, with that, guys, how do y'all think about your childhood? Did it bring back some good memories for you?
Oh yes.
And
Hey,
I think back and I'm like, I didn't need toys. You know, kids
Right.
nowadays, it's like if they don't have toys, they don't know what to do. It's very similar to a cell phone.
Yeah, they don't have this thing.
They're like, but
Their
I don't
life
know if
is
they
over.
would know. I don't know if they would know what to do without a cell phone, without the internet, without toys. Take those things away from you, and you'd be surprised. You'd be like me. Now, I did have two big chicken sheds behind my house full of stuff. And I think that's where my love of junk comes from. Because when I would be going to school, the all the stuff that wasn't used would go to this room. And I was always good friends with the custodian. I was like, ooh, does my key fit that door? He said it does. Because I had a master key. And he was like, I was like, can I go in there? He's like, the only thing you can't touch. He would show me what I could touch, but everything else was fair game. So I'd go in there and snag chairs and doodads, and we'd use it for art or, drawing things. Oh my God, I love a good junk room.
That's funny. But with that, guys, I think that'll be the end of the show for tonight. But you know what? That's a good topic. I think we should talk about what do kids use their imagination for now. That
Or
might be
what
a
did we
good.
used to do?
That might be
Maybe
a good.
parents need some ideas
That might be a
because
good show for us to do. And from there. But with that, guys, thank y'all so much for being with us tonight. Listen us to Rambling. Sorry we've been away for a while. I was a guest on the Forge. But great guys. They're really, really good guys, and I had a great time doing that. I actually just recently got asked to do an artwork, so I'm pretty excited about that. I did an artwork um for someone because, well, I had the time and I just love drawing and giving pictures to people. So that's something I'm going to share. So if there's a picture or artwork that you're wanting or would like to have, reach out to us at autocratprimer@gmail.com. And you might be able to get an original artwork from me to you free of charge. Until then, thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as we're moving forward this year, I have a lot of good ideas, and I hope that I can implement them. And we'll see you then. Bye, guys.
bye.